Around 3:30 p.m. on Monday, the 25th of November 2024, members of the Tobago Gang and Intelligence Unit acted on information and proceeded to Louis Bay, where they carried out searches in the surrounding areas, where PC Dates spotted 2 suspicious black plastic bags hidden beneath a blue shed. The bags contained 1 silver Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun and 1 Black Glock micro conversion kit. The items were seized and taken to the police station, where PC Dates will continue inquiries. A welfare officer appeared before High Court Master Casabon on Monday, 25th of November 2024, where she was granted bail in the sum of $250,000 with a surety. Deborah Griffith was arrested and charged with 18 counts of obtaining monies by false pretenses, 18 counts of money laundering, and 17 counts of uttering a false document. The accused was also ordered to surrender her passport to the Registrar of the Supreme Court by 28th of November 2024. She was also ordered to report to a specified police station twice per month on a specific day. The matter has been adjourned to 11th of March 2025. Investigations reveal that Griffith allegedly obtained a loan of $146,530.44 to purchase a vehicle. However, she allegedly failed to acquire the vehicle and used the funds for unrelated purposes. Further inquiries uncovered that between March 2014 and July 2015, Griffith allegedly submitted multiple fraudulent travel claims, pretending to have purchased and owned a vehicle to receive traveling benefits. The claims amounted to $36,611.30. The investigation was spearheaded by Inspector Francis and Sergeant Tony and conducted by Corporal Cummings, PC Khan, and PC Belfast. The fraud squad warns members of the public that altering information to gain financial or other benefits is a serious criminal offense. Such actions can result in criminal liability and prosecution. Well, that's news to the hour on WESN. I'm Naomi McNish. Thanks for watching.
WESN.
Good morning and welcome back to Dollars and Cents. Now, today's episode is one where I'll be talking on a bit of a touchy subject for a lot of people and a lot of families. Money. And not only just about money, the psychology of money and what does cause a lot of conflicts in relationships as a result of it. Now, throughout my time in the business, I would have interacted with hundreds of couples, hundreds of people throughout Trinidad and Tobago from varying socioeconomic backgrounds. And you tend to realize that there are a bunch of similar traits when it comes to dealing with money, person's perspective with money. And this has to go back to their relationship with money when they grow up, their parents' relationship with money, if it is they come from a family where it is they have an abundance, or if it is they come from a family where they don't really have that much money, right? Now, part of the funny thing about this is that it's Christmas time in Trinidad and Tobago here, right? And you know Christmas is a time where people like to buy curtains, like to buy decorations, all these different things associated with the time of Christmas, right? But sometimes this does be a time of tension, because I'm sure you would, and I'm guilty of it as well too, going into certain stores to buy certain things and having arguments or heated discussions with significant others based on her viewpoint on what it is or viewpoint in terms of price and value, right? So, me personally, I'm a very practical person, so it has been hard to get me to spend money on things that I find as nonsense, right? If it is we have decorations from years ago, why is I going to buy new decorations for now? It happened to me, I'm going to fight me for this, right? But that, along with most men don't see the value in spending money every year on Christmas decorations, right? But there's a whole other discussion that we won't really go into, right? Now, when it comes to money disorders in particular, it's really, I am not a therapist or a mental health professional. I'm just talking on my experience and what I would have noticed as it relates to these things. Now, some of the money disorders that I would have noticed throughout my time would be compulsive buying disorder, hoarding, gambling disorder, workaholicism, and financial enabling and dependency, right? So we dive a little bit deep into each one. And these are the notes that I would have taken or compiled for this particular episode. Now, compulsive buying disorder, the reason that I'm going through this is so that you will be able to identify where you lie in each one of these disorders and have a better conversation with your spouse or a significant other or within yourself to understand that this is normal, nothing is wrong with you, it's just something that persons usually have to deal with, all right? So compulsive buying disorder is a tendency to engage in compulsive shopping and spending, particularly in response to negative life events. So if a lot of people, if they had a bad day at work, they must buy something, right? I am very, very familiar with plenty of people who suffer from compulsive buying disorder. And this could result in significant financial stress, high levels of credit card debt, and hinder progress towards financial goals such as discipline and independence. So some people like to shop on Amazon. If it is they have a bad day at work, they must buy something on Amazon. And when it is done, it's always things of little to no value, all right? The next one is hoarding. Now, the most difficult thing is living with a hoarder. And thankfully, most of the people in my life, they are not hoarders, but I know some family members who are, and they don't see it. They don't see that they are hoarding. Now, being a hoarder means the difficulty in letting go of seemingly valueless possessions, resulting in the accumulation of clutter that can have a negative impact on both living and working spaces. Now, me personally, I'm a minimalist. I can't operate in chaos or clutter, nothing like that. Things must be very structured to such a level where it's very functional. I can't operate in a situation where it's just clutter. No. Now, this could be associated with money, such as the client is unwilling to spend money or even after being financially successful. So some people, even if they have money or not, they can be financially successful. They just like buying cheap, valueless things, and it is just accumulating in the house. And the persons around them who are not hoarders, they have a hard time living with that person. Gambling disorder, a recognized mental health disorder in which persistent and recurring problematic gambling leads to significant impairment and stress. Now, some people, they believe in gambling. So they're always in roulette, they're always in lotto, play, all these different things. And then some people don't realize that doing things like, now this could be a little controversial topic here, doing things like forex trading is also a form of gambling. If it is, you don't know what you're doing. And most people don't know what they're doing when it comes to forex trading because they think or they have the hope or the idea that they are so well versed in the ability to read the financial markets and not realizing that the money that you make, you're losing it just as fast. Or any type of investment, quote unquote, like that, where the risk is extremely high, it could also be considered as gambling, in my opinion. Right? So that's why I tend to stay far away from it. Workaholicism, a compulsive disorder that is often associated with anxiety or depression. Now, it has find this is something that has been prevalent with people who come up from a family from a decent family, but a family who did not have a financial abundance. So they see work or earning income as a way of getting out of it. So they push a lot of emphasis and energy into being extremely well at what it is they do. They tend to stay late in the office. They tend to do the most as it relates to, talk about myself here, boy. as you see, relates to getting better at what it is they do, because they see this as a way of elevating themselves from one position to another, right? Workaholics frequently fear not having enough money, and as a result, focus on their career at the expense of personal relationships. So sometimes people just get vexed because they would say, well, you know, you're always working, this and that, and it's like, bills have to pay somehow. You can't pay bills on love and hope. Financial enabling is a reliance on earning income from another person to the extent that it creates anxiety around the fear of being cut off from that person. So this is a real funny topic, because this ties into the dating, the current dating landscape. So right now, you will find persons who in the dating landscape, let's say from ages of 23 to, let's say, about 35, 40, you would usually find a conversation surrounding things like this nature here, where somebody is reliant on another person's income in order for them to have a certain lifestyle, and they get a certain amount of anxiety because they fear as though that this person will cut them off. So you'll find this predominantly where one person is not really educated to an extent where they could say about things to themselves, or they have children, or they came from a past relationships with children and they are financially dependent on, or this other person is enabling their current lifestyle, and they have a fear of being cut off. Now, the sad reality of this is that you would usually find this in a situation where a husband and a wife, where they have a child, and the husband dies without having any kind of life insurance, right? And the unfortunate reality is that if the wife is in a position where she's not able to financially support her children, she would have to become dependent on someone else to provide that standard of living, all right? Now, the sad reality is that if it is the husband had life insurance, he would have left a source of income for the family for them to maintain their current standard of living, but he did not, and this is a result of something in that situation. They say this could be detrimental to the individual receiving the income, in that it may suppress their emotions, their motivation to desire to succeed on their own, as well as motivation, as well as emotions as well too, because the relationship could be one where it is the person, the woman is dealing with a lot in terms of the man not doing certain things what he's supposed to be doing, and he is mistreating her. So she is in a position where she can't leave, because if it is she leaves, she's not able to take care of her children. And that is there's an unfortunate side effect of somebody not having life insurance in the event of their passing. Financial dependence. This occurs where one individual provides financial assistance that keeps the other dependent, maybe intentional or unintentional. In some cases, the financial enabler has high income and assets, but in the other cases, the enabler is giving away more than they can afford to give. So, again, this is a situation where some people, you'll see people talking about, or younger women talking about being with a provider man, right? And when it is they get accustomed to a certain lifestyle, they become dependent on it. And that dependency would create a whole heap of problems, a whole heap of problems. So it's in my opinion, is that put yourself in a position where it is you can survive without your spouse. If not, you have sufficient financial planning strategies in place. Or if it is you just need to be self-aware. If it is you realize that you are in a relationship where it is you are financially dependent on this person, understand what is the situation and make the most out of it. Because this is a whole topic where I am not qualified to give any sort of psychological advice on. All right. Now, when it comes to money conflicts is a very funny area, right? Because priorities does vary. People does have financial infidelity. Savings does be an issue. Spending could be a problem. Financial issues, and requesting for assistance from family and friends. Now, you see all of these areas here, these are things that most couples fight over. Priorities. You see, when it comes to understanding what is the direction when it comes to financial priorities, that does be a problem, because case in point, Christmas coming up here, people are going to spend plenty money during Christmas time on a whole bunch of things that they don't necessarily need, all right? And these same said people will not have their priorities in order. They will not have established emergency fund. They will not have established savings funds. They will not have life insurance, critical illness. They never plan for the retirement, nothing like that. But you'll find them spending a ton of money on so-called Black Friday sales, when in reality, it's not really a sale. Most places just tend to raise the prices before the sale actually comes. So you actually paying it at the exact price that they wanted it to pay it at. So you see, with financial priorities, the differences in prioritization of values or goals can create conflict. Example, one spouse prioritizes work while the other believes in family time is more important. One spouse prioritizes providing an education for the children while the other believes in saving for retirement. Now, these priorities are, in this example here, I would say with the work and the family time, there needs to be a balance, obviously, right? Because you can't spend all your time with the family and then based on the type of job that you're doing, you're not spending any time at work in terms of being able to provide for the same said family, right? Providing for education while not providing for retirement, that in itself could be a role or area that could have a little bit of variance or a little bit of disagreement. But I would say what would be more sufficient or what would be more deeper than that would be somebody who prioritizes poor spending habits versus somebody who prioritizes good spending habits, right? So financial infidelity, the act of engaging in significant financial transactions without the knowledge and support of the spouse or partner. Financial transactions without a partner's knowledge are common but problematic when significant, such as hiding money, accumulating debt, gambling, or investing in illiquid assets, recurring debt and leverage. So if it is you with somebody and this person have a gambling addiction, that's a problem. And if you don't know about it, that's a problem. Or you find out about it afterwards, serious problem. If it is this person, I look at something recently where this guy, he was some kind of engineer, some kind of offshore oil engineer, right? And his wife was a real estate agent or something to that extent. And he didn't know they had joint accounts. He didn't know that she would have been using from their emergency fund to make frivolous purchases on Amazon, right? Or he didn't know that some trips that they went on, she took loans, high interest loans, in order to fund these trips when she was the one who wanted to go on these trips. So that is something that is very, very... The funny thing about this here too is you notice a lot of times when people having big lavish parties for children, and especially women tend to, and the men probably don't know about it, don't know how much money this costs. That is a form of this here. So that could be an area of conflict that I would have realized. Savings. When conflict occurs when both spouses are not working together towards the same savings goal. And has always come across this. Always, always, always. Some people would want to save towards planning for retirement, paying off debts, different things like that, and the other person just living life free and like nothing really bothers them. And this has been a point of major conflict in many of the meetings that I would have had with couples, and this here just reinforces it. Now, spending again. Conflict may arise when the expenses that one spouse categorizes as frivolous or as a luxury item are categorized as necessities by the other spouse. So, again, nice example. Christmas time coming here. You will see people going and buy TV, furniture set, this, that, that. That time the furniture set that they have there good, they don't have a problem with it. That time the TV that they have there, however long, still working and still functional, but they want to buy a next one for the other room upstairs where nobody really sit down and watch. One person would look at it as a luxury item, one person would look at it as nonsense, and it does have a serious clash when it comes to that. Case in point again, I know the my mother who watching this, she might get a little harassment, but sometimes curtains. Sometimes if there's you're buying curtains, all the time. My mother already buy curtains like that, but if it is you have curtains to change. It's like when you change the curtains, so the same curtains that we had 2 years ago could go up this year. Why did you go and spend money to buy curtains? It's not necessary, right? And there's always fight with that, but that's a little joke between both of us, right? Now, sometimes when it comes to other conflicts, you see, asking for financial assistance from friends and family, it has some people in couples that does have a serious issue with that, because some people do like to get other people involved in a business, and then some people like to share the business to everybody. And that, for me, is a serious problem, because how you could be in a relationship or be in a marriage with somebody and then they sharing all of your financial issues with everybody else. And then when it is, and not to your knowing, not to your knowledge, and then when it is you have a conversation with them, they watching you kind of way. It's like, come on, you're putting yourself in a position. So some clients may sacrifice their own financial well-being to help others. Again, including family members, friends, or charities. It may be necessary to establish boundaries and budget categories to prevent financial enabling and dependence. So it come like, if it is you have a family member who always asking for money borrow, or you always have a family member who you're always supporting, but your spouse have a problem with it because that money could have been used to be supporting your family. Yes, if this we doing charity, both parties need to agree and have a set amount set aside for that. That is the budget, and you're not going past it. If they go past it, then again, problems again. Financial enmeshment. This happens when parents involve their children in adult financial decisions, and conflicts when the child is not yet emotionally or cognitively prepared. So, you would have heard stories where parents take loans on the child's name, and the child now had to pay off the loan over a period of time, and they now had a bad debt for whatever reason over a period of time, and they weren't at a stage where it is they was fully emotionally prepared to deal with that. And that's something you just find a lot in certain situations. They're saying here that it could lead to the development of unhealthy financial habits, money disorders such as hoarding, compulsive buying, gambling, workaholicism, financial dependence, and enabling. So if it is you have kids, I would say is your best bet to leave children out of adult financial decisions. If it is you know you're trying to save for your children's education, don't try to save for your children's education. And then when it's time for them to actually go to school, you come back and throw it in the face and say, well, I put aside all this money for you, and I do all this for you, and I sacrifice all this for you. That time the child then asks to come here. You took it upon yourself to bring this child into the world, and then you're burdening them with financial decisions that they are not really prepared for. So, when it comes to conflicts and money, throughout my time, one of the common issues that I would find is families. You would find one person believing in insurance and one person not believing in it. You would find one person believing in planning for the retirement and the other person not. You would find one person believing education plan and the other person not. I realize that a lot of people don't talk about money in the house. And they don't talk about it to the extent that it's a serious conversation. They simply just exist, and money is not something that they discuss to the extent where it could really benefit the family. And in my understanding, that's why a lot of people have issues with insurance, because a lot of people don't understand how insurance works, they don't understand how it could actually benefit them, and they don't understand the financial and psychological effects that happens to a family when one person dies or one person becomes critically ill. So I would have had many instances. I could give you one example in particular. This couple, the husband, he didn't believe in any kind of insurance, right? He believed that he had enough savings to sustain everything. He had some assets, he had our income and property, right? His situation was that he would have been diagnosed with a critical illness. Now, that critical illness that he had was one that he has to live with for the rest of his life, and it's degenerative. So as time goes by, the cost for seeing about care increases to the point where he would have not been able to continue working. His wife would have had to leave her job to take care of him. And it reached that stage where the daughter or the son had to come now and also financially aid in seeing about his day-to-day needs. Now, these are conversations that people need to have at an early part in the marriage, at an early part in relationships. I am of the firm belief that if it is you are in the position where it is you now looking to get in a relationship with somebody, you need to understand the relationship with money. If it is you don't understand their relationship with money, you don't understand their money disorders, you don't understand these things, then that sets the stage for problems and issues moving forward. Last example I'll give you before I go. You would find households where the family, the parents don't believe in money management. And the children, seeing that, they have the mentality that either one, they don't want to ever be like that because they see all the financial mistakes and issues that the parents made, or two, they fall into the same traps. If the parent had poor money management, the children will tend to now have poor money management. And parents doesn't realize the psychological effects these things have on the generations following them. So this has been an episode of Dollars and Cents, where I try to help you make wise financial decisions that will really boost your bottom line and increase your overall relationship and value with money. Until the next time, thanks for watching.
WESN.